Hello there and welcome to the EUobserver chat show, MEPs Talk About EU. Joining me here today to discuss the EU's plans to have more women in the boardroom is the British MEP from the European Conservatives and Reformists, Marina Yannakoudakis, the Dutch MEP from the Green Group here in the European Parliament, Maria Cornelissen, and from the Norwegian mission to the European Union, Petter Sorlien. He's a councillor for equality and non-discrimination. Thanks so much for joining me here today, and thank you very much for watching. So without further ado, let's talk about EU. The Commissioner for Justice, Viviane Reding, has a plan up her sleeves to increase the amount of women in boardrooms of top European companies. In order to do so, she wants to introduce aggressive quotas and timetables. By 2015, she wants 30% of board members making up of females and 40% by 2020. As according to data by the European Commission in 2010, board members in the biggest companies in the European Union made up of just 12% of women. Let's hear what our guests have to say about the topic. I want to start with you, because this week you said that Viviane Reding's idea was slightly patronising and you didn't agree with the idea of quotas. So what is your alternative?
I totally agree with Viviane Reding, and I think most of us agree that we need more women in boards, on boards. Where I disagree is that quotas is the way forward. And there are two things we have to look at this in two ways. First of all, yes, we need more women. How are we going to do it? I don't think quotas. I think women are quite capable of getting there on their own. The world has changed since the 70s or the late 80s. More women are going to university, more are getting through the system. I think you'll find on boards, the average time people spend on a board is 7 years. The average age is 58. So the cohort of women are coming through. We haven't given it a chance yet. We should encourage them, and that'll come through. The other thing is,
Viviane Reding said that she doesn't agree with quotas as well, but they're necessary, and we've seen in places like Norway that they're working. In 2004, Norway did introduce this. There was a lot of controversy. There was a big debate at the start, but now it seems to be working. Tell us about that.
Well, it is working. If you want rapid change, the quota is a viable way to go. We're not speaking of discrimination legislation here, but the Norwegian experience is that we have an amendment of the company rules itself. So it's in fact a gender mainstreaming strategy, and it's working. It's given the push. I think that's the important thing. It gave the necessary fuel to set this on the agenda. And today in Norway, we have for the public limited companies 40% female representation on the boards.
That's the quota that Viviane Reding wants by 2020. Reding also said that she was running out of patience this week. Do you think that her words will really be put into action? Do you think it's a realistic plan she has?
Well, I would hope so. Of course, she already started this action last year, and I was very pleasantly surprised at her strong words. She said, we'll give self-regulation another chance, and within this year, companies will have to show that they have viable plans, that they already show progress, and they haven't. I agree that it would be much better if companies self-regulated in such a way that fairly quickly, I mean over 10 years, we could have 40%. They don't. Quota are a necessary evil, and hopefully also a temporary evil, because once structures within companies have changed, there's more possibilities to combine top jobs and have a family. There's more diversity among committees that choose new board members. People want to choose people like themselves. So as long as there's only men who choose, there's only going to be men who are chosen.
And how do you think this will go down in the UK?
well, that was my second point about quotas. I think that it's also member state competency. It's very important that member states take control of their own employment and how they organise it. So that's another reason why I'm particularly averse to the EU doing it. As Maria said, one way of dealing with it, and this depends on the member state, is temporary quotas or temporary targets. In the UK, we have the 30% club, where women have got together and they're aiming to put women in these positions. So different member states can approach it in different ways. The Norwegian model, I'm a little concerned about your 40% figure. I don't know how you've got that and how accurate it is, but I've also heard from Norwegian sources. I can challenge.
You can say, you can stand up for yourself.
Can I just finish? And I've also heard from Norwegian sources that one of the side effects of this approach has been that companies have created posts and have put women in them. And I would hate that to be the case.
Peter, speak
so
up.
maybe you could just sort of clarify on those two issues.
Well, for first thing, it's proven and found that we didn't find qualified women. And I think that no jobs were created specifically for women.
Okay.
It's a gender balance, and it's the way it should be.
And what about the accuracy of the figures? She suggested that the figure, the 40%, wasn't reached.
Actually, it's a bit above, so it's a bit above 40%. But I must be specific that the Norwegian situation regulates, the legislation regulates certain companies. We are talking about the public listed companies, we are talking about the state companies and a range of other companies. We don't regulate private SMEs, and there are 260,000 of them. And we do also support self-regulatory measures. If you allow me, when I see upon the current European debate now and compare it to the Norwegian, the European debate is much more ideological for the time being. In Norway, that's a past issue. Today, we are more on the pragmatic issue. We look into how we can complement legislation with self-regulatory measures. And my point is only to say that the Norwegian experience is the following. Legislation, the quotas, paved way for self-regulatory measures, not the other way around. And that was the fuel that I was talking about.
And many say that Norway is one of the best places to be as a woman, that you're treated so well. But according to Reding, it'll take us 40 years here in the EU to have equality between men and women. Do you agree?
No, it just doesn't work without some push from government side. And this is the most brilliant example. There need to be all kinds of extra measures and policies, but you will foster that by putting in quota, because companies will start moving if they are there. The funny thing actually is that companies tend to start moving already when there's a legislative proposal floating around. So I think the best thing Reding could do for the moment already is just have a draft directive and let that leak a bit and see what happens then.
What did you want to say there?
No, I was just going to say that we are moving forward in this line, and maybe at this stage we need to just hold our horses. And we'll see how the system is moving. And it varies from member state. We have to bear that in mind, just like the pay gap varies from member state. And again, the figures vary. I mean, I understand your 40% comes now from the top companies. Do we just want the top, FTSE companies going through? We want the whole lot. And that's what we really need to aim for. And I still think that the way we do that is by women themselves getting into business, supporting other women, by having it on the agenda, debating it, and we'll see a natural movement towards it, more and more.
If you trust those big CEOs.
It won't take, well, I don't think it'll take 40 years.
Well, we'll leave it at that. Just according to a Eurobarometer survey, 3 in 4 Europeans say they're actually in favour of laws to ensure that women with equal qualifications get access to the same jobs as men. I want to know what you think, so leave us a comment underneath this video or write to us here at video@EUobserver.com. Thank you very much to you all for coming in today, and happy Women's Day to you, and thank you very much for coming here with all the ladies.
Thank you.
Goodbye and take care.